Good morning, dear professors, dear chairman, members of the State Association Commission, as well as undergraduate students. Let me start today's qualification to this defense. It was assigned according to the order second MAK 8 on 8th of April 2023. The chairman of State Attestation Commission, Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Sciences, Divisania Inovarna Ziva, Associate Professor of the Department of English Language and Literature of Bucharest State Pedagogical Institute, the Deputy of State Attestation Commission, Candidate of Pedagogical Sciences, Associate Professor Chavatar Mimbaevich Kubabayev, Dean of the Faculty of Foreign Language of Karabakh State University, and the members of State Attestation Commission, Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Sciences, Dr. Bashirna Dolgasova, Head of the Department of English Linguistics of Karabakh State University, Candidate of Philological Sciences, Kizhumurat Yumuratov, Associate Professor of English Linguistics, Department of Karabakh State University, Candidate of Philological Sciences, Dilberta Chumurata Nakadzhieva, Associate Professor of English Linguistics, Department of Karabakh State University, Candidate of Philological Sciences, Maksut Alimbaevich Abdullayev, Head of Foreign Languages, Department of Kazakhstan Agriculture and Technology Institute, Doctor of Philosophy on Philological Sciences, Difuza Konrad Paila Jumov, Assistant of English Linguistics, Department of Karabakh State University, Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Sciences, Rustem Shanyazovich Satarniyazov, Assistant of English Linguistics, Department of Karabakh State University, Azamat Abdulmalikovich Kulagirgenov, Doctor of Philosophy and Philological Sciences, Senior Teacher of Department of English Language and Literature of Bucharest State Pedagogical Institute. Sarvanath Nazarna Yusupova, Senior Teacher of Academic Life under Karabakh State University, and Sayora Kulatovna Abdullaeva, Senior Teacher of Academic Life under Karabakh State University. Gulzira Urbambaeva Nazarbaeva, Associate Professor of Distance Learning Department of Bucharest State Pedagogical Institute. Gulmira Abdullaeva Ushenova, Senior Teacher of Distance Learning of the Department of Bucharest State Pedagogical Institute. And now, this I will give you the word to the chairman of State Attestation Commission. Vysania Zarovna Azimova.
Assalamualaikum, бүгін ұлы байрам сіздер төрт жыл оқып білім алып ұлы дәрігері Феру Қалигер жұмысымыздың қорғау күні. Феру Қалигер жұмысымыздың ағзалары толық һәм ашық деп жарияласа. Сізге Ахмет.
Now it's time to announce the graduate students. The first one is Madina Milova with scientific work, content-based instruction in teaching receptive skills. Scientific advisor, senior teacher, Yilmaratov Rashid Jumaratovich.
Good morning, dear members of attestation commission. My graduation work is devoted to the issues of content-based instruction in teaching research skills. This study sought to answer the questions related to the implementation of those techniques in our content. Content-based instruction. Content-based instruction is teaching organized around the content or information the students will acquire and not around the linguistic or other type of syllabus. Content refers to the substance or subject matter that we learn or communicate through language content rather than the language used to convey it. Content-based instruction is built on the principles of communicative language teaching. The classroom needs to be filled with real and meaningful communication where information is exchanged. Content-based instruction is based in two assumptions. First, people learn a second language more successfully when they use the language as a means of acquiring information. This assumption reflects on the motivations for content-based instruction and noted earlier that it leads to more effective language learning. Second, it better reflects learners' needs for learning a second language. Many ESL or EFL programs focus on preparing students for academic studies or for mainstreaming. Content-based instruction makes an assumption that learners learn best when they are given language in a meaningful contextualized form with the primary focus on acquiring information. And theory of learning. People learn a second language more successfully when the information they are acquiring perceived as interesting, useful, and leading to a desired goal. And language learning is more motivating when students are focusing on something other than language, such as ideas, issues, and opinions. Some content areas are more useful than others. Teaching builds on the previous experiences of the learners. Content-based instruction builds on students' knowledge and previous experiences. Students bring a wealth of knowledge to the classroom. And language is purposeful. Language is used for a specific purpose, such as vocational, social, or recreational. In order to make the content comprehensible, teachers need to make adjustments and simplifications for the students to learn. Content-based instruction language is second to learning the content objectives related to the content, not to the language. The syllabus comes from the content, however, it is common for a topical syllabus to be used in theme-based content-based instruction. Types of learning and teaching activities. Stroller, 1997, proposed classification categories. Language skills improvement, vocabulary building, discourse organization, communicative interaction, study skills, synthesis of content, materials, and grammar. And learners will become autonomous, support each other, active interpreters of input, willing to tolerate uncertainty, willing to explore alternative learning strategies and source of content, and have a learn by doing attitude. Teachers rule. A good language teacher, knowledgeable in the subject matter, be able to draw out the knowledge from students. Principles of content-based instruction. The subject matter content is used for language teaching purposes. Teaching should build on students' previous experiences. Learners feel motivated when they perceive the relevance of the language used. The teacher helps students to complete or build expressions when they can. Language is learned most effectively when it used with a real purpose. Vocabulary is easier to acquire when it is used to convey meaning. Language support is needed when they work with authentic subject matter. Learners work with meaningful and cognitively demanding language and content. Communicative competence involves more than using language conversationally. And it would be interesting to examine the effects of content-based instruction on general listening and reading abilities is an English foreign language developing country. Therefore, this study is to investigate the effects of the content-based instruction English culture course on listening and reading skills of a group of second-year undergraduates is and TIEFL territorial learning context. As a demanding language skill, listening has frequently been underestimated by students and educators in the field of second language acquisition because effective listening skills are developed over time with lots of practice, but listening practices seem limited and activities are most of the time decontextualized or inappropriate for students. Generally speaking, listening has attracted the least attention among the four language skills because it was regarded as a passive skill. Many listening classes still heavily rely on decontextualized listening activities which are not meaningful enough to motivate students and enhance their listening abilities. The emergence of communicative language teaching and the shift in language teaching from developing the linguistic competence to communicative competence was the starting point where listening skill has been considered as an active skill. Stemming from communicative language teaching, content-based language teaching focuses on communicative purpose of language and the final outcome of the tasks as they are used in everyday life. Teaching of reading is an important aspect of teaching learning a foreign language. Reading is one of the receptive language skills. It generally means understanding or making sense of a given text. It involves extracting the required information from the text as efficiently as possible. Reading opens the gates of knowledge. To open the gates of knowledge, readers should actively participate and do the activities to get the meaning out. So, reading is not a passive skill. Reading means comprehension. Without comprehension, there is no significance of reading. So, many people say that the terms reading and reading comprehension are same. Reading means the reader reads without understanding author. So, conclusion, the content-based approach is widely used in a variety of settings since the 1980s, from ESP or EOP and immersion programs to ESL programs, University Foreign Language Programs, Business Vocational Courses, EFL. It leads to more successful program outcomes. It offers unlimited opportunities for teachers to match students' interests and needs with meaningful content. Stimulate students to think and learn through the target language. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
What do you think about disadvantages of content-based instruction?
And disadvantages, it may be confusing and use of target language, disadvantage sides of content-based instruction in teaching receptive skills, and designing materials, finding information sources and texts that beginners can understand may be difficult.
Explain. Lack of variety. What is lack of variety? What kind of disadvantages?
Maybe confusion, content-based instruction include language.
One of the disadvantages is
One
lack of variety.
of
You have pointed out here. What
example,
is?
use of target language. Overuse of the native language can be a problem in some parts of the lesson.
Any question?
So I have two questions. What methods have you used? Methods of investigation, I mean. And about your data, kinds of data you have collected, and what are the results?
Methods.
Methods of investigations that you have used in your paper.
Mm, There are many reasons for employing content-based language instruction.
Methods of investigation, what reasons? Go ahead, methods.
Should ask a little bit.
Methods of While writing your paper, what methods of investigation you used? What you used?
No answer.
How about your data? Data collection. What data you have collected? Experiments that you held about this content-based instruction. What are the results? Is it a good method, bad? What's your conclusion?
During content-based listening activities, students have to and motivation has been defined in different ways. It is what makes us act. It is a desire to work towards the goal or to reach an objective. If motivation is present, learning can be facilitated, but without it, effective learning becomes difficult.
Oldu. Elbette bulabilirsin.
Medina, sen ona Johnson'da introduction part'ta он научный аппарат болады да, сенде жоқтаған үшін мына сұрап отырды да, я бұл жерде объективі жоқ, я болмаса бұл жерде жаңағы не жоқ, кәдімгі цель жоқ, subject жоқ, message of investigating, message of using, action work жоқ, солар жоқ та. Practical theoretical and practice деген нәрселер бола ма? Болады.
You may take your seat. Thank you.
Now, next undergraduate student.
What about your documents? Are they all right? Reviews, annotations, and other papers. Are they all right? Have you seen yourself?
Yes, all right.
Well, then next graduate. Is it okay?
Next graduate, undergraduate student. Düşünmeye
Yes.
Palmya'da,
Is
Düşünmeye Palmya'daki scientific work is about vocabulary learning through use of picture word inductive models for young English learners in Kazakhstan. And scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy of Pedagogical Sciences, Diffusa Kumrabban.
So, good morning, dear professors. Let me start my presentation about the qualification work. As you can see, the title of my work is about learning vocabulary. So the picture word inductive model for young English learners in Kazakhstan. So, what is the picture word inductive model? I want to speak about this model. This model was invented by Calhoun and Joyce in 1998. It used picturing containing. It used used pictures containing familiar objects and actions related to vocabulary acquisition. And to elicit the children's vocabulary skills and acquisition of word-list methods. For this methods, picture word model was used by Calhoun for American children for the past 50 years. I could say that from starting the 1970s year. Also, it's popular among the teachers, and up to date, it's getting more popular and popular among the teachers to teach the ESL, English as a Second Language, for young learners. So, there's three steps to do this method. First is identifying the pictures, what they see from the picture, and then to study pictures selected by the teacher. After studying, the third one is read and review the words generated by the teacher. So, Coxstein and Rochelle, some scholars have their opinions about this model. Picture word inductive model argued that pairing second language words with pictures is better when pairing them with the language first equivalence, but pairing with the pictures is getting more and more popular nowadays. So the result will be effective than just translating the words. And also, one of the scholars, Nolan and Salz, demonstrate that imaginary is more effective when using this method to enhance our vocabulary skills. Harvey and Goldway states that readers and listeners can visualize. If they visualize new words, the words will be more easily to understand or to memorize by the learners. So this was about methodology, and here's the practical part of my work. Is the relationship between memory, words, and pictures. This picture word inductive model uses only focuses the aspect of vocabulary acquisition rather than their children's or learners' reading and writing skills. Meanwhile, this model only lasted for a short period of time, so that the research that held in my work held in a short period. According to the Calhoun's theory about this model, shaping out the words is main task of this model. What does it mean? Shaping out is the identifying children's vocabulary acquisition to discover new words in that target language. The teacher commands the pupils to try not to use their mother tongue, their Karabakh or Uzbek languages, but only English languages. So that way, the experiment is held by dividing the groups into two groups, 4 grade students. First group taught by the first group we call the A group, and the second one is B. A group taught by the word list method, and B group taught by this picture word inductive model. So the results shows that the B group has more qualified scores than the A previous one. This shows that method is effective for the using for enhancing the vocabulary. So after teachers commands, the pupils try to use their English to describe the pictures in the blackboard. After that, words generated could be words for the objects or actions, and also it could be also not only action or nouns, it could be also abstract nouns. For example, you can see the appendix 3. In this appendix 3, here described the picture about polar bear, and while describing the polar bear, this picture, teacher asks the question, what can you see, what they see about their polar bear's mood, and children say that he was sad. Sad is the abstract noun. That means that through this method, young learners learn not only material words or just the nouns or verbs, but also the abstract items, nouns. In the result of the experiment, 2 aspects of the efficiency discussed, namely the learning of word forms we know like spelling or pronunciation, and the second one is general understanding of word meaning. Thank you for your attention. It was presented about my qualification.
How do you understand? Can you explain us this picture with inductive model? What is it? And next question, what level learners you consider young learners?
I consider primary school children's learners, also the kindergarten learners who learns the English language. As I mentioned at the beginning of my work, picture word inductive model is to enlarge, analyze, and identify the vocabulary acquisition of children's in any language, not just in English. So my experiment was taken from the 4th grade primary schools. Also, nowadays I'm working as an English teacher in the kindergarten, and so every day I face with this method. I try to use this method in everyday my lessons with children. It's very effective rather than other methods. We know that there are a lot of methods, techniques, approaches to enhance our vocabulary skills. So this one is better for younger children.
So what are methods do you use for your data analysis?
Word list method used for first group A, and picture word inductive model used for a B group. And the result shows the B group, experimental group, scores were more qualified than the previous one. Only just word list method was used.
Do you have certificate? C1 or else?
Now, this month's output.
Thank you.
Very soon.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
I'm sure everything is right in here, right? Now, the next undergraduate student is Adir Lavinia. The work is about ways of visualizing English lessons and scientific advisories. Senior teacher of English Linguistics Department, Vitoda and Recognition.
Good morning, dear members of Attestation Commission. My graduation work is devoted to issue of visualizing English lessons, where we identify the role of learning organizers in learning situation. This study ought to answer a few questions which relate to the implementation of those techniques in content. Our work consists of two chapters. First chapter is about the theoretical part, where we studied scholars' views on importance of visualizing foreign languages. Visual aids arouse the interest of learners and helps the teachers explain the concepts easily. In our graduation work, we use the decree of the president. Has been done according to the president of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Miraman Mirzayev. PD10, the development strategy of the new Uzbekistan for 2022 and 2026. Importance of visualizing is aids are around the instructional aids which are used in classroom, encourage the students, and visual aids are tools make the issue of lesson clearly and understand the note. There is some research of Timor indicates the psychology and the visual aids, and 1% of the learners learned by tasting, and 1.5% they learned by touch. And the most important way they learn the hearing and sense of sight, it's 83%, and also people generally remember 10% of what they read, and 20% they hear, 30% they see, and 17% what they say, and 19% they doing and see. There are many objects in visual aids. Objects work extremely well. Visual aids showing the object being discussed find way to clarify the speaker's ideas and give them dramatic impact. And the next chapter is about the practical part. There we use it in practical. They say about the graphic organizers and their kinds of. First, graphic organizers organizing, categorizing, classifying, and outlining. They are charts, webs, and many other details charts. And next, comparing and contrasting graphics, we can when diagrams and comparison matrix, and the next is cause and effect. There are fishbone and maps we can use. In conclusion, we can say the graphic organizers can be used at any age and at any stage of learning, brainstorming ideas and presenting research findings, because visualization to learn is daily used by anyone who is able to see. He relates what he sees and his prior knowledge, and Dubus shares his new knowledge and with others. Graphic organizers are suitable for different classes. Learning arrangements include and paired groups and learners love making in groups and developing their knowledge. Yes, I guess.
Thank you very much, Vinera Madanila. Vinera, ways of visualizing. Which skills or in which lessons can we use these ways of visualizing?
Which lessons?
Yeah.
For example, we can use in reading lessons. For example, we give the text for the students and we use the Venn diagrams. They compare the two topics.
Okay, and for which level can we use this?
Any level. We can use any level.
Any level.
Yes.
To your mind, what kind of visual aids are more effective?
What kind of? In my mind, I
In
think
classes.
Venn diagrams is very effective and fishbone cause and effect because students learn the causes and effects with drawing the fishbone in the blackboard and they write and they draw the picture.
So what methods did you use for your analysis?
What method?
Now, the next undergraduate student is Rajat Momunisa. His work is about historical review of audio-visual methods and scientific advisory related to pedagogical sciences. Jabat Mumbai.
Good morning, dear teachers. My qualification work is about historical review of the audio-visual method. Firstly, I want to tell about what is audio-lingualism. Audio-lingualism is a method of teaching foreign language inspired by behaviorism, based on the repetition of the correct sentences. And the audiolingualism is defined as a method of teaching foreign language theory, behavior theory that claims that the language is a behavior thought. The learners practice this method with repetition and through the some elements with repetition and that leads them to habit formation. And let's see historical background. Historical speaking, the audio method was widely used in 1950s and 1960s, which when the American linguists such as Bloomfield and Fries at the turn of 20th century collecting all the indigenous languages in the United States. And the next, during the Second World War, America became aware that it needed people, mainly servicemen and soldiers, because of its operations when the World War. The soldiers and the servicemen needed to learn foreign language very quickly as soon as possible, and it's to learn the observation and the communicative competences. That's the reason why the audiolingual method is also called the ARMY method. Next, the audiolingual method features. According to the audiolingual, a foreign language should be learned directly without taking mother tongue language, and the learner should repeat corrective sentences. Thus, the role of the teacher is present new words to the learner, and the learner practice and repeating the words with the same structure. The audiolingual method is mainly based on three main teaching processes. The first is presentation using oral dialogue and memorization. The mother tongue is discouraged. The second one is practicing using the pattern drills. It helps them to learn fluency. And the third is teaching process. Is an application, and we are here we talk about the use of structure in the different concepts. Then the strategies of benefits of the audiolingual method. One of the teaching strategies audiolingual method is dialogue memorization. It consists of in giving a short dialogue to the students, and then they are asked to act it with mimicry or gestures. The second one is transformation by giving short statement to the learner. They will learn the sentences by transformat, made negative or integrative. For example, he doesn't know my name. Does he know my name? Like that. In conclusion, the audiolingual method is mainly focused on the speaking and listening. It helps the learner to learn communicatively competences. I think with this, I should tell the founder in this method is Robert Lord and Charles Carpenter, please. This is all information that I have.
So what's your opinion about this method? Have you used it in your practical training?
Nowadays, this method is not used mostly. Mostly, this used in all times during the Second World War by soldiers and servicemen. But today's when I was at school, and I taught the people with method, communicative teaching method.
Have you used teaching?
Yeah.
What is disadvantages? What does it develop?
Advantages of this method is this method work with all the four skills: speaking, writing, reading. Disadvantages of this method is mostly the teacher-centered, not student-centered in the classes.
Logic question, kızım. What is the motivation of choosing this subject in your research? What is your main motivation of choosing
I took
this theme of subject? Topic. Why are you interested in this subject?
I can tell about that. In any foreign language teaching and learning, every person wants to learn mostly speaking and communicate with the foreigners, and so that they try to take more effective and easier ways of learning and speaking, so that I also interested in it.
Thank you. Questions, Isabel?
Thank you for attention. Thank you, Monica. Now, the next undergraduate student is Sadullayeva Ilora. Her scientific work is about reflection of the peculiarities of national mentality in development of English and Karakalpak languages. Scientific advisor is Senior Teacher of English Linguistics Department, Ilya Kulibayev.
Good morning. My research works is a reflection of peculiarities of national mentality in proverbs and sayings of English and Karakalpak languages. My research work structure of qualification paper consists of an introduction, 2 chapters, conclusion, and bibliography. The first chapter deals with general notes on the concept of national mentality as a special object of study. It's a complex and multifaceted concept that has been studied by scholars from various disciplines, including psychology, sociology, anthropology, and cultural studies. Mainly, we gave information about the concept of mental and mentality in this part. And the second chapter is devoted to comparative analysis of English and Karakalpak proverbs and sayings. Also, in this part, there are given more examples of proverbs and sayings in both English and Karakalpak languages to compare and see the national heritage of these two nations. The aim of the research work is identify the most commonly used proverbs and sayings in English and Karakalpak languages, determine the cultural values, beliefs, and attitudes expressed in these proverbs and sayings. Compare and contrast the similarities and differences between proverbs and sayings in these two languages with a view to identifying the peculiarities of national mentality. In the first chapter, I especially give more information about the concepts of mental and mentality. The concept of mental and mentality can be confusing because they are related to the meaning and psychology of individuals. However, there are some important differences between these two terms. Mental refers to the individual's cognitive and emotional state, which is related to the mental health and emotional disorders. And on the other hand, mentality refers to the general mindless values and attitudes of the particular group or collective. Examples for English and Kyrgyzstan proverbs. For example, the apple doesn't fall from the tree. It means that it's often used to describe how children tend to inherit the characteristics of their parents. And in Kyrgyzstan language equivalent, alma terinin alsat spide. This proverb usually points out similarities between parents and child, whatever physical or personality traits. And never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. This quote argues us to actually do something today instead of doing it tomorrow. Bugünkü iste ertege kaldırma. Experts say there are several reasons: avoiding discomfort, self-doubt, excessive work, thinking you are not good enough, or even just being lazy. And also much effort, much prosperity. It means that success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. The in Kyrgyzstan language equivalent, miniyet berahat. And the next one, like fathers, like son. It means it's used for saying that a man or boy has the same attitudes as his father or behaves in the same way. And in Kyrgyzstan language, equivalent is akeye karay ulusiyat. There are similarities between a father and son, perhaps some shared traits. Classifications of the proverbs. First one is proverbs expressing a general attitude. Proverbs that express general attitude towards life and the laws that govern are often leaving a lesson or message that people may use as their guiding principles. Often these are the teaching that most parents give to their children as reminders or warnings. Examples, there is no earthly joy that's not battered with tears. This proverb means that you won't receive earthly joys or rewards in life if you don't work as them or work hard for it. You won't be able to find your true happiness if you don't work hard for it, and after all, as a hardship in life, you will get the reward that you deserve. And the next one, ethical proverbs. These proverbs suggest that several virtues and don'ts certain rights. When something is ethical, then it is moral and is always considerate of what is right and wrong. Examples, blood is thicker than water. People say blood is thicker than water. They mean that their loyalty to their family is greater than their loyalty to anyone else. And honesty is the best policy. It's used to say that telling the truth is better than lying even when it's hard to do. And the next one is proverbs expressing a system of values. Proverbs that express a system of values are as a type of proverbs associated with global topics such as religion, technology, and war. They are also used as guiding principles in addressing the issue of ignorance. For example, every drop of perspiration of an industrious man will be rewarded accordingly. This proverb means that in every hardship from a person who is full of determination, and there will be a reward that he will get out of it. And the next one, proverbs expressing general trust. Proverbs that express general trust are types of proverbs that deal with human nature and life observation. Human nature, as defined, is a natural characteristics of man that defines their actions, feelings, and manner of thinking, while life observations are the manner on how man see life in general. And next one, humorous proverbs. Humorous proverbs are a type of proverbs that might cause people to smile, laugh, and make fun of things, but will also leave important lessons. For example, lie down with dogs, wake up with fleas. It means if you associate with bad or dishonest people, bad things will happen to you. And the next one, miscellaneous proverbs. These proverbs are express specific realities to certain point. They are diverse in nature and don't have specific lesson to point out or highlight. For example, if you plant, you harvest. The saying reap what you sow means that if you plant seeds or do something good, you should reap rewards later. For example, if you plant a garden, you might help to get some vegetables. And if you give help to someone, they might help in your time of unique. And also, Karabakh proverbs have been influenced by Russian and Uzbek culture as well as Islamic teachings. Some of the best Islamic quotes are obtained from verses of Quran. For example, Allah is with those who have patience. Allah is with the patient. You who believe, seek help through patience and prayer. Don't lose hope nor be sad. Don't patient. Then patient either lose hurt or grieve. And next example, if you don't have time for Allah, nothing is going to work out right in your life. It means that a life without the will of Allah isn't a life, it's a deception. And also Allah doesn't burden a soul beyond that it can bear. Whatever troubles you face in life or from Allah, and they always mean to make you strong or to teach you something. In the conclusion part of the qualification paper, the results gained and summarized and described. In the bibliography includes the item of scientific literature on the theme and different types of the dictionaries of the English and both English and Karabakh languages. Thank you for listening. It's all about my presentation.
So I have two questions. First of all, in your research work, you used methods such as corpus analysis, ethnographic research, and survey research, right?
Yes.
So what does it mean, corpus analysis, and how did you yourself use it in your research? Second question is, what survey did you have or in where did you have this survey research?
Corpus analysis, first question. Corpus analysis, I used corpus analysis to express the different age groups and also genders and cultural backgrounds of the expressions and expression, proverbs and things.
So did you use this corpus analysis in your research work?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In what chapter did you show or did you reflect?
In the first chapter, the especially the first part, as a
Okay, second question, did you have survey research?
survey research is also used and
How do you understand national mentality In your example of your,
National mentality.
yes, what do you think? What is the national mentality? Of course, national mentality.
Mentality it means the originates from Latin, meant the word
That is the first give you example, one example, and explain. Misal ben bir şey var kızım. Misal ay? Ne?
İngilizce.
Oh,
Onun bir var.
oh, sonuçta bir şey var.
the proverb and understanding.
Which shows national mentality of Karakalpak people and English people.
Oh.
For example,
Niye ait oluyor mu?
Çünkü şimdi sen çok one suit.
for example, like father, like son. In this proverb means that the characteristics and also behaviors of fathers may appear in the sons' behavior and characteristics. Maybe their characteristics and behavior may be the same. And equivalent in Karakalpak language, akiga qaray ulgusi.
Bu yerde uluslararası var mı?
Yes. There are similarities between father and her son, perhaps some shared traits.
Значит, уluslararası var.
Olalım.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for speaking.
Next on the graduate student is Magana Filova. Her scientific work is the role of non-verbal means of communication in literary text. Scientific advisor is Doctor of Philosophy, Intellectual Sciences, or part of philosophy. Welcome, Doctor.
Good morning, dear members of the Station Commission. My graduation work is devoted to the role of non-verbal means of communication in literary texts. And this studies ought to answer a few questions related to the implementation of those techniques in our content. And the structure of the work is considered to be the scheme of the resultant work. The presentation consists of an introduction, 2 chapters, a conclusion, and bibliography. In the first chapter covers literature review. There are shown many scholars and theorists who did research in the same field on a given topic. And the second chapter is about research analysis, what methods will be used in the research. In its turn, all theoretical significance lies that inability discussion is given in this chapter, where all the details of analysis are described. Conclusion tells about what steps are taken in the research in the generalized way, suggesting some new elements of the research. Firstly, what's nonverbal communication? Nonverbal communication is a form of communication that doesn't use words or spoken language, such as body language and facial expressions. It's a very powerful form of communication and can often convey more meaning than verbal communication. For example, when one is happy, they might smile, or if someone is sad, they might frown. Nonverbal communication can also be used to show interest or a lack of self. For example, if someone is giving a presentation, they may look around and make eye contact with the audience, engaging them in the conversation.
There are many other forms of non-verbal communication, such as gestures, touch, and voice tone. It's important to be aware of all of these forms of communication in order to ensure that everyone involved in the conversation gets the message. And research on the actuality of nonverbal communication has shown that nonverbal cues play an important role in how a message is perceived. And for example, studies show that people who smile are more likely to understand and agree with than those who don't. And people who keep good eye contact with when speaking are also perceived more trustworthy. Research has also focused on the role of nonverbal cue in creating an atmosphere of agreement, trust, and rapport. For example, research has shown that people who nod and smile when someone is speaking are perceived as being more understanding and agreeing with what's being said. In addition, research has shown that voice tone can have a significant impact on the message since it can make messages sound more authoritative, friendly, or serious. So it's essential to be aware of messages we send out through nonverbal communication in order to effectively express our ideas and comprehend those of others. And nonverbal communication, new political thinking and modern reality and market economy, the use of foreign technologies and the establishment of various contacts with foreign countries contribute not only to awareness but also the personality. And in conclusion, the research on deception and nonverbal communication indicates that heightened arousal and increased cognitive demands contribute to the presence of nonverbal behavior that can be associated with deceptions. Additionally, when people are falsely accused of deception, the symptoms that they exhibit as a result of the stress of being falsely accused are very similar to signals exhibited by people who are actually engaging in deceptions.
Did you classify nonverbal communication needs in your paper?
Yes.
Did you classify? What types of nonverbal communications?
Nonverbal communication types, there are many eye contact, gestures, body language, and so on.
Well, body language degenin özü nonverbal communication, right? Yeah. Types of nonverbal communication. Hangi türleri var body language? Body language
Maybe
in Karagapa, how do you understand?
emotionlarda ko'rsatsa, qo'lda tan belgilarda ko'rsatish orqali ifodalash mumkin.
İşaret ediyle.
Ha,
Sılıyor mu? Nasıl türleri bilmek istiyor?
Uma başarı bu anda. Scratching is a head, reading nose.
Kinesthetic degan barda, estimba, kaçlar kinet var? Kaçlar üzeri kinet? Adamın. Ko'rib tursan mı?
Touch.
O kız tema geçseydi, kız tema. Kız temada, the topic is very interesting, but
So what is the difference between sign language and non-verbal means of communication? What is sign language?
Цитируя Schiller Larsson, Arthur Healy, and so on. And for example, in Schiller Larsson's novel, where art is in the book, we came across number of communication. For example, don't touch me. What in kill? Like that.
The next undergraduate student is Lukashев Timothy. Your scientific work is developing the learner's reading skills with the integrated skills approach. Next, scientific advisor is Rashid Ilmullah.
So, my theme is integrated skills approach in teaching reading. The work consists of acknowledgement and abstract introductions, theoretical and practical characteristics of research work, and conclusion by work in bibliography. In the acknowledgement part, I expressed that my gratitude to people who had great influence and contribution on the way this research work has been done. In the introduction part, there has been investigated the scientific relevance of the qualification papers, subject, object of the topic, aims and the tasks of the work, theoretical and practical significance of the research paper, as well as the methodological foundation and level of learning development. The first chapter of the qualification work is dedicated to such problems as theoretical characteristics of integrated skills approach in teaching reading, the role of reading in teaching English, integrated skills approach in teaching English, two forms of integrated skills instruction, integrated skills approach to teaching, reading, and etc. The second chapter looks at the practical characteristics of integrated skills approach in teaching reading, the role of motivation in teaching reading, useful skills and strategies, materials and activities in teaching reading. And finally, in the conclusion part, there has been pointed out the main results of the qualification work and analysis regarding to the main idea of the paper. Current process of globalization, the effect of the radical reforms of education system of Uzbekistan is evident in all areas. To this area, the state pays special attention to the teaching and further development of foreign languages in the education system, which is a key factor of socio-economic, political, and cultural life of the country, one of the wide factors that directly affect the morals of the population. Under the presidential decree of the Minister of Education and government officials are highly supporting all educational institutions in terms of strengthening the foreign language acquisition by supplying with modern technologies. So, referring to presidential decree, we are quite convinced that our present qualification paper devoted to the usage of integrated skills approach in teaching reading appears to be a very topical issue in improving teaching foreign languages, not only English but other foreign languages as well. We're more than sure that the usage of integrated skills approach in teaching not just reading but also other language skills is a vital role in acquiring academic success in teaching process, especially in learning languages like English, German, and French. Topicality of my work. Throughout these days, many studies have explored the experience of teachers related to the usage of appropriate teaching approaches, but little has been written concerning the usage of integrated skills approach in teaching reading. Many teachers and administrative staff of educational institutions are still using traditional approaches like grammar translation methods, audiolingual methods, and other methods that found out a long years ago and not improper in our using in teaching modern system. However, the fact is that integrated skills approach is more effective and productive than other traditional approaches. Therefore, this qualification research paper will explore the origin of this approach, its types of instructions, its uses in teaching reading, how it impacts on students' learning, academic success, behavior, and motivation. The theoretical value of the paper. As for theoretical value of the paper, the materials of the qualification work may be used as one of the main points in foreign language teaching in primary and secondary schools, as well as in academic ICUs, professional colleges, and in higher educational institutions.
Will you please move to the conclusion?
What?
Conclusion part. Ending. Goodbye part.
Okay. In conclusion part, I want to tell about that our paper, research paper, is devoted to integrated skills approach in its impacts and usage in our modern system. And we are more than sure that our that integrated skills approach is better in most ways than traditional approaches. And our research paper can be used in schools, colleges, and high institutions.
Okay. Do you have certificate?
Yes.
Which one?
IELTS and TOEFL.
Oh, C1.
Oh, yes.
From IELTS score?
Seven.
7. Any questions, dear members of commission, dear head of commission? Gentlemen, is that all it? Questions?
Nereden tanıdınız? Şöyle. Sonra böyle.
So, integrated skills approach you mentioned about, right? So, what are they integrated skills?
Reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Here, speak, read, write in this form of learning, they can be used in modern system.
And in teaching reading, your topic, right?
Yes.
In teaching, how do we use this integrated skills?
There are two ways of instructions of using reading integrated skills. First, the content-based instruction. Content-based instruction will give students content according to their levels. We should have texts, passages, or interviews, or there can be articles, and using by this, we discuss problems, we write about them our opinions, and we can listen other students' opinions at the same time. And second instruction is task-based instruction. We can choose one task, and connect them with other listening with other skills, language skills.
Thank you very much. And second question is, in your chapter 2, you mentioned about the rule of motivation, right?
Yes.
The rule of motivation in teaching reading. So, in teaching, while teaching reading, how can we motivate learners?
Last year in my third course, I attended the practical internship, the 32nd school number 32nd, and there were 5 of practicals that including me, and one of the practice internship member, our peer, used such kind of materials that students engage fully and motivated. And when I used another materials, they are not quite bit interested. So I found out for myself that students should be interested and motivated to your lesson. If not even they are higher level students, they are not engaged. They don't engage in your classes.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Because of principles of integrated approach. Principles.
Main principles of integrated approach.
Main principles. If to say skills, there are two skills, there are four skills. If to say
So your topic is integrate skills. yes?
integrated skills, yes.
First of all, you should know about the principles. What are its principles?
First of all, integrated skills involves using some of all of four skills to practice new material, vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, and text discourse. As listening and speaking naturally go together, it's always desirable to integrate these two skills. The sequence hear, speak, write, hear, speak, read, and write is the most proper for integrated skills work. A common topic such as holidays, pets, sports is a device linking the separated activities in integrated skills lesson. For content-based instruction.
Thank you.
Министр, Оля слушает.
Просто 2 минут, что это?